In the Orwellian world of George Orwell, there was a man named... The fuck is his name? Winston? So, today we're talking about 1984. And this one is full spoilers. There is not going to be a review of this book. If you want a review, it's a 10 out of 10. Done. Review over. It's a 10 out of 10. Objectively, it's a 10 out of 10. Personally, I think it's a 10 out of 10. You've been told by everyone that it's a 10 out of 10 because everyone agrees that it's a 10 out of 10. But the question is, why? Why is this book a 10? There's been a lot of, classic books, future whatever, Fahrenheit 451 or Brave New World, 1984. There's a lot of these out there. But what makes this one in particular important, not that those other ones aren't important, and not that you can't have a favorite that isn't this, maybe you prefer Brave New World over this. The author of Brave New World certainly did. I think he even sent George Orwell a letter like, my book's better, he did. Not those words, and the answer to that question, what makes it good, is going to be different for everyone. But I think there's a few key things, at least for me, in my experience, that I really wanted to just what made it special for me. And of course, first and foremost is relevance. The relevance of this book is shocking. The things that he kind of predicts that come true. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one because this is really what everyone bangs on about. And if you really want to know more about it, go over to YouTube and just type in 1984, look up some video essay, and you'll get some 3.5 hour deep dive into exactly this topic. So I really don't want to waste a ton of time on it. But the relevance is undeniable. The predictions that everybody, just check out a random meme. We're living in 1984. And yes, they're being dramatic. And yes, they are exaggerating. But at the same time, there is a truth to that. Just some of the things where, what if the world were perpetually at war? The second one war ended, we would enter another war. Whether it be genuine or manufactured, there would be a constant perpetual state of war, a surveillance state, a world where the news is manufactured. Some might say fake news. There are wall screens with built-in cameras and microphones that monitor you and listen to what you say and watch what you do. Any of this sound familiar? So his ability to create a world that is not only frightening and oppressive and feels somehow claustrophobic and constricting in nature, it also tends to feel uncomfortably close to the world that we are living in today. And so that's that. Like I said, go look up a video essay. Then, to me, what stood out as I was reading it was the love story. And I say that because I initially thought that it was poorly done. I didn't... hear me out. I say poorly done because there's literally nothing romantic about it. And at first I'm going, gosh, this guy's doing a good job at the world and the world building and creating this world, but he's doing an awful job at the romance. The love story is just trash. And then as I'm going, and in hindsight it's even more important, but as you're going, it starts to click, at least in my brain, that first off, it's quite well done because it's so bad and because it's so completely devoid of any type of genuine feeling romance, because this is a world where love is banned. It is illegal. So these people have never loved. It's not like this guy's going to be a natural Shakespeare because he just doesn't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. So the fact that it feels clunky and the fact that it feels just not well done actually makes it more believable as you read it, or more convincing that this is how it would really be happening for these two people. And by the time it's over, you're going to go, okay, all right, that was truly and genuinely necessary. That truly elevated everything that this book does. Then there's the resistance plot thread. It feels like it should go somewhere, the resistance plot thread, and it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, you are led, he's led, the reader is led so well down this path that we're doing something sneaky and we're doing something shady and we're going to meet up with the resistance. And then we're going to get, then we get our hands on Goldstein's book. And this is going to be our initiation into the resistance. Then he reads the book. It's not like you get a general idea of what's happening, or he sits down and he reads the book and then you get filled in. Like, no, when I say he reads the book, he reads the book. I mean, page after page after page. You're literally reading the book. It's not that the book's explained to you. You have to physically read this book for pages. And it's a slog. I mean, it takes any forward momentum of this book and it just breaks, locks it down. All of it completely screeches to a halt so that you can spend 10 pages reading a book. And not this book, the book in the book, Goldstein's book. You have to stop reading this book in order to read Goldstein's book. Anyway, somehow that's genius. At first, you might be frustrated. Like, what the am I doing? What is this doing to me? Why am I having to read this? And yes, this is the resistance book. So the anti-Big Brother book. But somehow the whole time that you're reading it, it feels like you're reading propaganda. It doesn't feel right. It feels off. It's explaining to you what the world is, what Big Brother is, how Big Brother came to be, how the big three superpowers came to be, why they're at war, how they're at war, what's so important about why they're at war. And it's like the anti-Big Brother. And it's so it's a lot of the world that you want to know and want to understand is being explained to you in this book, but it still somehow finds a way to feel like it in and of itself is propaganda, because it is. But it's all part of the system. It's not it is the Goldstein book or whatever, but it's just another piece of the puzzle. It's just another thing made by Big Brother, given out by Big Brother to people, those sneaky bastards. Anyway, at this point, you're really still expecting something to happen, right? Like, we're 2/3 of the way into the book, and we're just now reading Goldstein's book. Like, where is this going to go? Well, we're going to get captured, and we're going to go to the Ministry of Love? I don't remember, one of the ministries, and we're going to get locked up in the torture tower. Hooray. Woo, the torture tower. No, but, so at this point, we're captured and we're tortured. And the resistance leader shows up, and you realize that the resistance was completely a lie, the entire thing. He admits that he wrote the book, Goldstein's book, or at least collaboratively, and all of this was a big ruse to weed out people who didn't fall in line. And then these people are tortured and re-educated, brainwashed and manipulated to bring them back in line with what they're supposed to be in the system, in the society. And you're watching this, reading this, and you're basically 40 pages from the end, you're like, this can't possibly end like this, right? There's no way that we spent this entire book illustrating just how horrible this is for it to end like this. Well, it does. And in the end, he's broken. He's brought back in line, and she is taken, and she is broken, and she is brought back in line. And the end of the book is them finding each other again. There is no like modern twist of like, well, there's a spark and they both kind of smile because there's still warmth to them. No, it's cold. They both have completely accepted Big Brother. They both have completely rejected each other. They look at each other like, nah, couldn't care less. So they are broken. Love is broken. There's where the love storyline comes back around. The love story becomes relevant again because it meant nothing. Nothing can survive in the face of Big Brother. Big Brother is all. Big Brother is all powerful. He will, break you. He will crush you. And if he can't convert you, he will kill you. But the worst part about it is it's not that they somehow stood up. It's not that somehow love conquered. It's not that, well, he held his ground and in the end they killed him. Death would have been better. It's not, right? Because in the end, if he would have at least stood his ground and no, I will not give myself up and then be killed, well, then that's at least he had the strength. No. Big Brother wins. He's crushed. He's converted. And in the end of the book, he sits there and he stares at a picture of Big Brother and he's basically swells with his love for Big Brother. It is the darkest, most awful ending you could possibly imagine for this book. And the fact that he went there, you kind of see it coming, but you want it so badly to go somewhere else that when it gets there, you're still shocked. At least I was. I was like, God. And it's not like it's some obscure. You can, like you pretty much can see it on the horizon from a pretty good way off, but you just want so desperately for it to end some other way that when it ends that way, it was affecting. I don't even have some massive catharsis that I'm trying to make here. I just wanted to, I really don't. I just kind of wanted to just talk about the book for a minute. And I like some dark and evil, ugly shit. But even this one, I was like, man, really, George? Really? Anyway, I would love to hear what you guys' opinions, thoughts on 1984. Did you get something maybe out of it that I didn't, or more or less or whatever? Just let me know. And I guess I'll see you next time.